When we take a look at the report for August, what's the main takeaway that you get here when you look at all the numbers combined? What's really the main story here, you think?
Well, August was a continuation of the story we've seen all summer, which is that Oregon is adding a lot of jobs right now. We added 4,400 jobs in August, which is about average of what we've been adding every month throughout the year. But this has totaled into extremely fast job growth over the past 12 months. In fact, if we look back over the past 12 months, Oregon's job growth rate is 3.5%, which not only is much faster than the nation, it's the fastest over-the-year job growth we've seen in over 10 years.
But we did see the unemployment rate go up.
The unemployment rate went up again. It's done that throughout the summer, and that's not because there's been a lot of layoffs. It's because more people are entering the labor force. Either they left their job voluntarily and are looking for work, or they're new entrants into the labor market, like if they're students who are graduating or on summer break, and people who lost their job and are starting to look for work again. So we've seen these new entrants into the labor force coming in as unemployed, and that's bumped up the unemployment rate a bit.
So the unemployment rate has slipped up the last 4 months, and when you look back now at when it was down around 5.2, 5.3, is this going up to 6.1? Is this something that could have kind of been seen coming, knowing the history of what happens in the summer?
Well, Oregon's unemployment rate is still pretty low and about equal to where it is during normal expansions and during previous expansions, but every summer it tends to go up. And that's with those new entrants coming into the labor force, starting to look for a job. It takes them a little while to find a job, and that increases unemployment during the summer. It's just gone up more this year than it has in past years, and that's what's causing the unemployment rate to go up to 6.1%.
We looked at non-farm payroll employment. What did we see in August, and even going back to July, because there were some revisions in July as well, correct?
Right. Oregon added 4,400 jobs in August, and that's following a revised gain of 7,400 jobs in July. The jobs were added this month in leisure and hospitality, and also in the government sector. The government sector, primarily local government, which includes public K through 12 schools.
Okay, so those are the two biggest industries. Other industries that have has it been pretty much across the board, other than just the two that you mentioned?
This month is pretty much across the board. Most other industries stuck to their normal seasonal pattern, but adding it all up, it equaled that 4,400 jobs.
When you were talking about the again, why the unemployment rate may have ticked up here, you talked about job losers versus entrants, people coming into the workforce. Why do we see an increase of people coming into the workforce right now in particular, and do we know where they're coming from?
We don't know much about where they're coming from, but the normal sources for Oregon is they're moving in from other areas because they're attracted to the job opportunities that exist in Oregon right now. This sort of job growth that we're seeing, adding 60,000 jobs over the last year, doesn't happen quite often. The last time this happened in Oregon was in the late 90s, in 1997. And during that period, we saw a lot of people moving to Oregon from other areas. That's probably what's happening again.
So really the overall picture is still fairly strong and steady as far as you're concerned with this.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of job growth right now. There's a lot of job opportunities out there, and although the unemployment rate went up, it really went up because it's going to take a while for these summer entrants to find work, and it should start going down again because there's plenty of job opportunities for these folks looking for work right now.